My name is Dominique and we're going to go over some basic techniques for crocheting. What you need is your crochet hook. This is size 7 millimeters and it's made out of bamboo, but you can get it made out of wood, plastic, or metal. I prefer bamboo. It stays warm in my hand and the stitches don't slip off as easily as it does with metal needles or hooks. And you need some yarn. Just a note, the bigger the hook, you should often go with a bigger yarn or thicker yarn, and the smaller the hook, the smaller the yarn or the thinner the yarn. The reason for this is because it will change drastically how your work looks as a finished product. So when using a bigger hook with bigger yarn, it will be nice, thick, and chunky. But if you were to use a big hook and thin yarn, it would be very loose looking and it wouldn't be very nice and neat unless you use a proper size hook or needle with the proper sized yarn. And you can always find what size it is by looking at the label. So let's start with a slip knot. Slip knot's required for crochet. It's the first thing you need to do in order to start. So you're going to take your yarn and you're going to make a 6 like such. Here we go. So you make a 6 and then you're going to put your long end in behind the circle and pull it through. Now don't pull it through all the way because you want to grab these other two ends, your tail piece, which is the short end, and your working piece, the long one. So do that and pull it snug, insert your hook, and you are ready to crochet. And you often want to leave a tail about 1 or 2 inches. So once again, I'm just going to make my tail a little bit shorter, make a 6, take the working end, put it in behind, pull it up through the hole, grab the 2 ends, and pull down. Okay? Slip in your hook, to give it a little tug to tighten it. If you like a really nicely and tight knitting or crochet, then go as tight as you can as you're working it. Now when you're crocheting, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to crochet with my right hand. With your working yarn, I just have my ball of yarn here. I put my working yarn, around my pinky finger and in front of my palm, behind my first finger, and I wrap it around a couple times, and then I can control as I crochet. I can let loose or undo some wraparounds to control my gauge or how tight I would like my work to appear in the long run. So your slip knot is done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make some chains. So the chain can be as long as you want it, and we'll just start by, a common term is yarn over. To do a yarn over, you're just going to take your yarn and wrap it over your hook and then pull it through. And that is one chain. You can see that it's one chain because there's one V. So if you look, there's one V, one side there, one side there, there's your V. So that's one chain stitch. So we're just going to do a few to practice. So wrap around, or yarn over, pull straight through. Okay, so I made 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My apologies, I made 6. Yeah, so I made 6 of them. You can count, you'll see 6 V's in my work. And we'll go from there. So another common technique, if you wanted to make a circle, then for example you could make a coaster, you can make a granny square, anything that involves working around, like a hat, pot holders. For example, you would need to use a slip stitch. So a slip stitch, it's just a way of getting from point A to point B without having to deal with anything in the middle. So you have your 6 stitches or however many chain stitches, and you're going to take your hook and you're going to insert it into the final one, or the first one that you made. So that's there. Here we go. You're going to yarn over, pull it through. So now you'll see you have 2 loops on your hook, and to make it a slip stitch, keep going and pull it through, both or all stitches depending on what your pattern calls for. So now we have a loop. We can get some work done. So once again, a slip stitch. I'm just going to go backwards and undo everything I did here. A slip stitch connects point A to point B without having to worry about anything in between until after. So it's a way of connecting. I'm going to insert it into the first stitch I've made, yarn over, pull through once, 2 stitches on the hook, pull through twice, and that is a slip stitch. Thanks for watching.